Have you been on the search to try a new and different guitar pick? Do you have the urge to support small businesses and not bigwig corporations? Are you looking for a company that has so many different variations of a guitar pick that it's like a kid in a candy store? Boy oh boy, do I have a company for you. Today I'm going to be taking a look at two styles of guitar picks from the company Rambo, and we're going to see how well they fit for my guitar playing style. These guitar picks were designed and engineered in Germany, so you know they have to be of quality. These guitar picks were also funded by Kickstarter, so you know it's a small business, which is really awesome. I love supporting small businesses, and I have a lot of hope for these. So let's get into it and unbox these awesome guitar picks and see exactly what we get.
All right, I'm kind of excited about this one. It honestly didn't come packaged the way I thought it would, based off of the pictures on their website. But maybe I'll pen that up to just making things look good on their website, or maybe customs decided to be really stupid and ruin things, but it is what it is at this point. But they finally came after a few weeks, and I'm excited to show them. So you got some papers and documentation here, just some thank you stuff here, some download stuff for their quick guide, and it looks like a manual with their different styles of picks and stuff all built into there, all the different kinds that they have that you can get from them, all sorts of different stuff. That's pretty cool. And then we've got the two style of picks that I ordered. So this first one is the Strawberry Red, which is the Rambo Horizon. It is 1.4 millimeter, and that's kind of what they look like, and it's got some information on them right there. And then the other kind that I got were the Rambo Jayde, and these are 2.3 millimeter, so a bit thicker, and that's kind of what they look like here.
All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mess around with these live for you so you can kind of learn how they sound with me as I kind of noodle around, play some chunky stuff, play some weedlies, and figure out how these things actually sound with my playing style. And we're going to start with the red one, which is actually the Rambo Horizon. So let's see how this bad boy works. So the first thing I will note with the Horizon pick, it's got this interesting ridge at the top of it that makes it an interesting hold between my fingers. And the material at the top, where you see the shape change, I don't know if you can tell on camera or not, but it's got a different shape to it. And it's a little grippier at the top, but the very bottom portion of the pick is ultra smooth. And I got big, fat fingers. So I kind of hold it where it's touching both material sides. And playing through some of that faster stuff, the pick was slowly starting to just like go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into my hand. A little slippery. So it's slipping around a bit. I understand the ridginess because it's got like it's thicker at the top of the pick. So I get it. It's like maybe like a ledge to hold on to, but my hand is slipping, and you can hear me kind of fumbling up a little bit, and that's not because I'm not warmed up or playing right. It's like I'm trying to keep a hold of the pick because it keeps kind of slipping out of my hand. And so it's interesting Like, I like the shape of it, and it sounds great when playing, and this is actually 1.4 millimeters thick, so I like a thicker pick, and this really feels great to me, minus the fact that it's slipping around. And honestly, I wouldn't hold that against the company too much because they've got so many different kinds of picks, and these are just the two that I decided to order because they were the thicker ones that I could find and more like a common shape that I'm used to with my Jim Dunlop Trinity John Petrucci pick. And it sounds great. It feels great in terms of how it plays through the strings. The only thing is, I do get sweaty when I play a lot, and it's starting to slip out of my hands, and me trying to like keep a hold of it while it's sliding around is causing me to kind of fumble some of my playing. And so maybe this isn't the exact right pick for me, but it actually is like maybe a 7 out of 10 in my mind as a pick. Sounds great, feels great, it's a good thickness, I like the shape of it, I just don't like how slippery it is because it starts to move around in bad places between my fingers, and that makes me mess up my playing. So now I'm going to check out the Rambo Jayde, which is even thicker. It's almost twice as thick as the Horizon was. This is 2.3 millimeters, and it's got a like slightly different shape. It's more of a teardrop. And it's green, like a jade color, but I think this one's going to be a little bit easier for me to hold on to because the middle section of this is actually the grippy part. So there's more surface area of grippiness that's centralized and spread out than on the Horizon. And this one also has a bit of like a lip at the top where the pick is a little thicker, and I think it's to stop it from sliding out like the other one was because it kind of catches on your fingers. So we'll see how this one sounds. Okay, so I'm noticing this pick, although better, I think, is suffering from a similar-ish issue where it's still starting to slip out of my fingers a little bit, and I think most of this just has to do with the material that these are made out of. If you compare it to my Trinity picks that I usually use, it's definitely a different material, and for whatever reason, even though there's minimal etching of any kind on the Trinity picks, these just never really seem to slide around in my fingers. Like, they've got a really, really good grip, and they're not textured for grip necessarily. It's just the material. It doesn't get super wet. I don't know if it just like absorbs the moisture more so than leaves it on the surface, but it holds in my hands great when I'm sweating and stuff. But these, just the material that they're made out of, despite them being like gripized or whatever you want to call it, they're like textured for grip on certain spots, still slipping out of my hands. You can hear me fumbling around a little bit because when I'm playing the faster stuff or the heavier hits, I'm also trying to reposition my pick back to where it is normally at home because it's sliding around. And the other thing is that this pick compared to the Horizon is a bit more of a jump away from the Trinity style pick. So like the Rambo Horizon is more closely shaped to the Trinity picks that I normally use, right? It's like that 3 picks in 1 style of model, but the Jayde is like a teardrop. So it's got more of a point, which might be good for lower... more attack, which is great because it's a lot more of a pointier end. It sticks out a lot more from my fingers than the other 2 picks. Like when I'm playing the Trinity picks, I have very little, like maybe a millimeter of pick sticking out from my fingers, and that's how I play. With the Horizon, it's pretty similar. There's maybe 2 millimeters of pick sticking out from my fingers, and that's what I like because I play fast and up close. The Jayde sticks out maybe 4 or 5 millimeters from my fingers with the way I hold it, so it definitely has more of an attacky impact on the picks, and it cuts through them, but it's also like causing me to catch up on things. And if I choke up on this pick with the way that it's shaped, my hand tends to slide it from where it'd be very minimal up to the top of the pick. So it doesn't even stay with where I would want it to be. My hand just naturally starts to slide more and more pick out from my fingers. And, that's just not my style. So obviously, for these picks, would I pick them over my usual Trinity pick for like chunky rhythm stuff? I don't think so. I think it's very hard to beat these Trinity picks, so it's kind of like an unfair comparison. But again, these are really great for that stuff so far. They just, for me, I don't think they fit my playing style so much, but these are still really amazing stuff. Now I'm going to kind of wheedle around with some soloing type playing and see how well they perform on that instead of the chunky, like hard-hitting rhythm stuff. So first I'll start out with the Horizon and see how that works. Okay, so again, the Horizon is still just a little too slippery for me, and so it makes me have to try to re-grab the pick and reorient it as I'm playing, and that just causes a cut in time, and it kind of fucks up your playing a little bit. So I don't think the Rambo Horizon is for my playing style necessarily. It's just a little too slippery, but that doesn't mean it's a bad pick. It might be right for you. Just for me and the way that I play and the way that I sweat when I play, it's too slippery. So now I'm going to try to do the same thing with the Jayde pick and see how well it works out with this one. Okay, so the Jayde pick, it has the rigidity that I need. I like the thickness of it. And it's got quite an attack to it because of how pointed it is. And I still am having the same problem of it just being slippery. So it's like sliding around between my little fingies, well, not really little, my sausage fingies, and it's causing me to have to readjust while I'm playing, making it difficult to play faster runs. Like, it's got things going for it. It's thick, it's got a nice point to it, so it really cuts through and gives you that attack, which is great for speed picking stuff. But it slips and slides so much, and I can feel myself adjusting to try to bring out the most minimal amount of pick to stick out from my fingers like I normally do with the Trinity picks to play the faster stuff. And it feels like when I do that, it's going to fall out of my hands. It's going to push too far where there's no pick left because of the way it's shaped. It wants to fall back to where it's sticking out a lot of pick because my fingers are hitting that ridge that's at the very top of the pick. So it wants to guide your hand back to that spot. So if you're used to playing with a pick that has a lot of actual material sticking out when you play, this might be perfect because the lip at the top of the pick kind of limits your hand and your fingers of sliding out too far. It keeps it in a good position, but if you're trying to play with a very minimal amount of pick sticking out, which I think a lot of metal players do tend to do, it doesn't want to stay there for too long, and it'll make you readjust, which is unfortunate because it's really odd. I like these picks a lot. I really do, despite what I've been saying about my ability to play with them, and maybe that's a fault on my end. They just don't seem to stay in the position that I need them to stay in solely based on the material that they're made out of. And I'm not sure the exact material type compared to the Trinity picks, but like, they just don't work in my fingers. They're great picks, but they don't work in my fingers because they slide around so much when I sweat. Okay, so what are my final thoughts on these picks? Are they any good? Yes, I think these picks are actually very good. I think the material is high quality. I like the variations of shapes and thicknesses that they have, and I can see the intentions behind the engineering of the shapes of the guitar picks themselves. It's really great. And I've only picked 2 out of like a dozen or more shapes that they have, so there might be another shape of theirs that might work a lot better for me that I just stupidly didn't get. But I tried to get some that were as close to what I would prefer in a pick as possible. And although these are amazingly crafted guitar picks, they're just not right for me. That doesn't mean they're not right for you. So if you like picks that are very rigid, these ones specifically, if you like picks that are very rigid, these might be the ones for you. If you like picks that are very pointed, like a teardrop shape, and have a lot of pick attack, the Jayde ones might be a good pick for you. Just be wary that they do slip and slide a little bit. If you like that kind of 3 picks in one shape without it being 3 picks in one, because like the Trinity pick is just symmetrically 3 picks in one. You can pick the 3 points and use the 3 points out of one pick. This you can use 1 point. It's got the same shape as the Trinity, but because of how it's shaped, you can really only use the 1 point. And it slips around a lot in my fingers. I've got fat fingers. The material at the bottom half of this guitar pick is extremely slippery, especially when you sweat. The top is grippy enough and it's thicker, so it gives you something to hold on to, but because I choke up so much on my picks, these aren't right for me. But if you don't do that, and that sounds great to you, then the Rambo Horizon might actually be the route for you to go. So these are 2 great picks. They were designed and engineered in Germany, and it's funded by Kickstarter, so it's a really awesome thing to invest in if you haven't, just to support a smaller company so that you're not like paying out to the big wig Jim Dunlop or anything, despite how good those picks are. You're helping a cool small company, and I actually really like what they do. I'll probably order some more models of their picks at some point to try out and see if there's another version of their picks that might work better for me. But is it going to make me switch away from the Jim Dunlop, John Petrucci Trinity picks? No, this is honestly the ultimate pick for me, so it's very hard to beat. But like I said, these are high quality. There's so many different types that you can pick from, so I'll leave a link down to the website in the description so you can go and check out some for yourself and see if there's another model that I didn't showcase today that might look great for your playing style, and you can test them out. They're well worth it. I fully support the idea of supporting a company like this. They're really great. And yeah, so that's kind of my little rendition of these guitar picks. So before you go, make sure you watch all the videos on your screen all the way to the end. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys in the next video.